Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
This is a no-cut field. This is the last of the 8 signature events. Just curious, Brandel, what do you think of the signature series?
Look, on the whole, I've enjoyed it. You know, it brings the best players in the world. You know, I think it helps us get off the sort of the rise and fall of just major championships and the players. You get all of these spikes, and I think it's been good for the game. In general, though, I think the fields need to be bigger. 120 players, I think, would be fine. That allow the sponsors to fill out their Pro-Am fields, which right now they really can't do if they're being asked to supplement these purses at such a high level. I think a larger field would certainly do that, and a cut, I think, is necessary to have that sort of Friday drama. But overall, I think they're I think a marvelous boon to this era of golf. They got a boutique feel to them that they should have a bigger feel to them. But if we go back and look, I think it's worth taking just a quick look at some of the notable shots of the previous 7 signature events. Of course, this was a nice Sunday. Great way to start the year in Maui. No longer is the wraparound season the way they're going. They're going with a start at Maui, and what a start it was. A back and forth between Sahith Theegala and Chris Kirk. Kind of put a damper on things as it relates to the chasers with that gorgeous shot into the 17th hole, and he would win by 1. Wyndham Clark, I mean, a day to end all days on the green it was. This was Saturday at the AT&T. Remember, he shot 60, made it from everywhere, and pulled ahead by 1 until Mother Nature intervened and gave Wyndham Clark the victory in that signature event. Let's go to the Genesis, and at the beginning of the day, Hideki Matsuyama started trailing, but by the back 9, everybody was trailing him because his iron play was as sharp as it's ever been for a man who's usually pretty sharp in that regard. Nice shot there at the 16th. He closes at 62, wins going away by 3 shots. So much talk this year about Scotty Scheffler and how consistent he's been. Putting him on a golf course where there's a huge penalty for missing a fairway, and how could you beat him? You're not going to beat him here at the Arnold Palmer Invitational with iron shots like this, driving it the way he did. He shot 66 on Sunday and didn't win by a hair. He won by 5 going away. And we'll fast forward to the RBC once again. Scotty Scheffler, nice par save here at the 15th. The par 5 got tangled up a little bit, but he knew that was important. Nice react, by the way, winning by 5 over Sahith Theegala. And is there a match made in heaven more clearly, more obviously than Rory at Wells Fargo? Here he is on the 15th hole in the final round, just spicing it up for fun. That put him 7 ahead. Of course, he'd make the debacle there at the 18th to win by 5, but nonetheless, it was an exciting finish watching someone run away. And Scotty Scheffler in a nail-biter down the stretch with Colin Morikawa. Great up and down there at the 18th hole to win by 1. 3 of the 7 signature events by the #1 player in the world. So the cream is rising to the top in the biggest events.
Full field events are 500 points to the winner, 700 FedEx Cup points valuable to the champion. It's a $20 million purse, $3.6 million to the winner. And Scotty Scheffler has been dominant this season. He's looking for a 6th win on the season.
Tom, I remember talking to you at Memorial. You felt like it was coming together. What came together today?
Just all the same things, you know, like I hit fairways, I hit greens, and made some putts. You know, nothing really severely different. Obviously, scoring-wise, just, you know, it's getting sharper and sharper. And like I feel like I've been playing like this, you know, kind of the last few months. But to kind of keep it sharp and to keep maintaining, I feel like that's why I'm on my 8th week to kind of just keep it going. And it's just kind of nice to see those rounds kind of come together. And you know, the next 3 days, just kind of keep that same game plan. Whether good score or not score, you know, just kind of keep it together and kind of keep that sharpening.
This is obviously a tight portion of the season, a lot of signature events, majors tight together, but you said 8 in a row. Was that a cognizant thing by you? Hey, I want to play a bunch in a row?
Yeah, so that was a big deal. Like for me, I felt like my game was there, but it wasn't really showing in tournaments. And I kind of sat down, I'm like, you know what, like it's almost the last stretch of the season, and I want to really, I feel like I'm playing good. I can't, for some reason, I can't show it up in golf tournaments. And I think that's the reason why I'm playing a lot more than I normally ever would, was because if you keep getting reps in tournaments, it kind of keeps sharpening, and that's what's happening. So, you know, it's I'm glad to kind of see it actually come out there.
Someone who's not familiar with the game, you seem to have a little kind of a routine that you do to line up a putt on the routine where you turn your back to the hole and take a few steps. Can you explain what you do there?
It's just you know, I do aim point when I putt, so just to kind of make sure, you know, sometimes with undulation it kind of changes the direction that you're going, so just that's the only purpose.
Coming from a setup like the U.S. Open to a course like this, what kind of mental switch do you have to make?
No, nothing. I don't think anything changes. Obviously, major week last week and this week. It's just I think it's the same game plan. You try to you try to execute the good golf shots. I'm learning good rounds and bad rounds. I keep making sure I keep learning from those and keep adding them to practices and to tournament rounds. And it wasn't really that easy out there today. It was actually pretty windy, but I feel like nothing really changes, and I kind of really had a really good game plan and just kind of trying to execute.
What did you maybe learn the
That my game was really, really close. Obviously a tough day on Sunday, but if I I've had a few, like 2 of those bad rounds, and like at Memorial, I had the same number, but it wasn't like I was playing terrible. It's just, a few things kind of didn't go my way, and I couldn't really adapt to it and really couldn't score well. And I think the thing was that, okay, it wasn't a bad week, but a bad round cost me the week. But at least it's only 26th, 25th. It's not like I'm finishing 50th or missing the cut. So it shows me that, man, my bad weeks are only here. That gives me confidence to actually go out and be like, actually I'm playing well, and, just trying to kind of keep riding this momentum.
So you say you're close. What clicked for you today?
I hit the ball in the fairway a lot. Obviously, this course, if you start hitting the ball in the fairway, you can kind of go at some pins and have some good opportunities. And I wouldn't say, obviously I putted well. When you shoot 62s or 64s, you've got to putt well. And I took care of that opportunity. But just, my targets overall, I picked really good targets out there with my approach shots. And when you have 8 irons in, sometimes you want to go for the pin a lot, but at the same time, you kind of go into this headspace where, okay, this is where I need to pick my target. I don't need to feel like I need to push or anything, and just sticking to that game plan.
You made 8 birdies. What was your best one?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think my birdie on 8 was a really good. It's a tough par 3. You can't really feel that wind, and I picked a really good target, and I executed perfectly to leave myself a perfect 12-footer uphill. So.
What would you point to about why this season maybe hasn't gone the way you've hoped it to go?
A big one, putting was something that I could rely on last year, something I've tried to get back to where I was, as well as other parts of the game, but I feel like a lot of it can go back to not putting well. Like I was saying, putting well helps free up other things. You're not seeing putts go in, and it kind of adds some extra stress to having to hit greens or hit it closer, chip it close. That circle gets quite a bit bigger once you see some go in. That's a big part, and some of it too. Like I've been close on driving and ball striking, but we're not able to take advantage of when you do hit it well. Probably the easiest way to point out too is putting does help a lot, but that's not always the only thing.